What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Flash speaks again, man. So, Steve Kerr has high praise for Denver Nuggets center Nikola Jokic. He says that he's the best center he's ever seen. And on top of that, for some odd reason, he mentions Kareem Abdul Jabbar in the midst of all this by saying that I played against Kareem Abdul Jabbar. And Kareem couldn't do, basically, I'm kind of paraphrasing, Kareem couldn't do all those things that Nikola Jokic does. And, these are the types of, statements I kind of hate. I kind of hate this kind of stuff. Well, number one, this is all I'll just say here. As far as Steve Kerr playing against Kareem Abdul Jabbar. Steve Kerr came into the NBA as a rookie during the 1988-89 season. Okay? Kareem Abdul Jabbar's last season in the NBA was the 1988-89 season, which was the end of about a 20-year career, which started at the end of the 1960s. All right. And to mention that you played against him and that somehow gave you a serious perspective on Kareem, I just think is ridiculous. Okay. Kareem Abdul Jabbar in his last season averaged about 10 points a game. I don't remember how many rebounds, but I would imagine it's nowhere near his prime where he was averaging almost 17 rebounds a game, 5 assists, 29, 30 points, and stuff like that, especially like in the mid-70s when Kareem was just going bonkers and where he won 6 MVPs. And these were the years when the MVP voting was voted on by not sportscasters and sports writers and people who didn't play, but teammates, NBA players and coaches and so on. Okay, so it was a different type of MVP that was voted on by peers who really play against you and not people who control narratives, in order to promote the sport. So there's that. Now, when talking about their games, I get it. I get the fascination with Nikola Jokic, especially offensively. I do get it, right? The guy is a phenomenal basketball player in today's game. He is. And what I would call Nikola Jokic is probably the first, point center. The center who kind of plays almost like a point guard, where everything runs around him. Now, Bill Russell did do some elements of this, in the 60s, but not to the extent to where they're using Nikola Jokic, who's almost like bringing the ball up oftentimes. He ends up averaging more assists than the point guards on the team and things like that. But for me, when I talk about the differences between these two players, it's really a stylistic thing more than anything. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played in an era where the centers played more so back to the basket. They camped out in the post. They were rim protectors. It was just a different style of play for centers. Nikola Jokic, the thing I'll give him is that he's different. He's an anomaly in the way he plays the center position. I don't know that there'll be many like him, and I don't know there were many like him before. You had Arvydas Sabonis who played some similar ways. It's like a European way in which they play. You got Sabonis' son, in Sacramento, who plays a similar type of style. But I don't really like what Steve Kerr said because, it's just not nuanced enough for me. Personally, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is, he's a top 2-3 center all time for me. I say the best center I've ever watched play. that I was able ever to watch is Hakeem Olajuwon. And for me, I don't care how many accolades Nikola Jokic has. He's not better than Hakeem Olajuwon to me. I mean, I watched Hakeem Olajuwon, in 1986 when he played alongside Ralph Sampson, and they were able to, get past Magic's Lakers, and ultimately they fell to one of the greatest teams of all time. That's the 1986 Boston Celtics, who I hate very much because I'm a Sixers fan. But that team was no joke, man. But I saw that Hakeem Olajuwon, and then I saw that Hakeem Olajuwon, obviously, who was able to win the two NBA titles in the 90s. And I mean, just the sheer dominance that Hakeem Olajuwon had. I mean, I understand Jokic's numbers. I get all of that. But I mean, when you consider both sides of the floor, which is important, man, which is very, very important. You got one guy that's anchoring the defense. Then and he's the same guy that's unstoppable on the offense. Now, if you want to give me Jokic is unstoppable on the offense, okay, but on defense, it really isn't close. And then when you look at the guys that he faces in this age that are closest to throwback players, like a Joel Embiid, for example. He has a lot of trouble with Joel Embiid. And a lot of y'all could talk all that BS about Embiid ducking him and all of that. Embiid, right, in the games in Denver, he hasn't played in a couple years, but he doesn't duck him completely. He will play him in Philadelphia. And when he's played him, he's got the better of him most of the time. But the point I'm making is, if Joel Embiid gives him these types of problems, I couldn't imagine, him playing against a David Robinson. What types of problems would David Robinson have caused? Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, Ralph Sampson, Moses Malone, Kareem Abdul Jabbar. Just trying to imagine, and I know I can't deal in what ifs, but trying to imagine if he did play against those guys, how would it look? I don't know. I just, for my money, I don't have him over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at all. I don't care. Kareem just didn't play the point center thing. But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has had seasons where he averaged 6 assists. And for a center, that's excellent. And they go along with 17 rebounds a game. I don't know, man. I don't know. And I get it. I get it. I get the Jokic fascination, but I don't personally. I don't see it. Greatest center of this age, sure. I don't know how many damn MVPs they're going to give him. They might give him 10, to be honest with you. I don't think he'll have more championships than Olajuwon. I don't know. He got one. I don't know if he ever get another one. Really, because Denver isn't like, perennial powerhouses. They made it to that finals one time, got to play against a Jimmy Butler, led Miami Heat team that was kind of like a Cinderella team, but I don't take the chance. I don't take credit from them, but let's be for real, man. About that there. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he had to go through wars with McHale and Parrish, of Boston. He had to go to war with Moses Malone, Caldwell Jones and guys like that, man. I don't know, bro. So, yeah, you let me know what y'all think on that, man. Peace.